Alrighty, guys. It is 3:30 this Wednesday, May 28th. And I wonder what happened there. There was some crazy shit happening at the very end there. Technical term would be a hullabaloo of some sort occurred. But it's from a day of pretty much a little bit of weakness. They ran up here, tested the highs, and Nasdaq ran into resistance at about 21, 540, 550 level and knocked off. And that's exactly the failure to take it higher we were looking at trading. At least on the Nasdaq, that was up against resistance. ES, we said this morning if Nasdaq fails, we're going to drag the ES with it. And so far, it's been just a little pop, and then they drifted lower. So it's a reasonable trade if you had the patience to sit through it. After that, 11 o'clock hour, we started drifting higher. And at 2 o'clock, we were looking for a potential retest of the lows here. At least an attempt to take it lower. I thought this guy was about it, this rotation down. But then, of course, you sat through this, and suddenly this whole thing happened. So something came out, a headline or a Truth Social post or something. But man, look at that market. Boom! And that's what I'm saying. If you're going to trade this, you're sitting here, you're sloppy trading, scalping for a few ticks here and there, whatever you're doing, and you find yourself on the wrong side of the trade like that, then you're like, you're hurting, you know. And if you got into a trade and tried to maneuver your stop around, you had no shot on sitting in that thing. This is 22 down to it's like a 20-point bar. So comes out of nowhere, headline of some sort, and at this point, I would just say, yeah, and they retraced right back up again. Looked like they were trying to take it higher, so they could have gotten you sucked in on the short side here. They could have gotten sucked in on the long side if you're not paying attention. But anytime you get a reaction like this, unless you know what it is and can account for it, I would not trade it. I mean, sometimes they retrace, sometimes they just keep going, sometimes they revert right back at you. So it just depends on what kind of news they are digesting or trying to handle, trying to deal with. But at this point, I think we're getting into the end of the last half hour. The big deal right now is going to be the Nvidia earnings coming out after the close. Let's see how that goes. And that could set the tone for tomorrow's trading for sure. In the overnight, I would start off range bound. If anything, maybe a slight bias, not the bias to the downside. If you start taking out this area, the 59, we said 59.10 to 12 this morning, or maybe the 12, the 17, 18. See, early on, we said below that level, we're going to take off the long bias. I would take off the long bias at this point and just go stay range bound. Unless they start retracing way down here, down in the 58, 58, 80 levels down here, then I would not worry about the short side. But I mean, right now we're getting probably pre-positioning and stuff like that going on, and we're going into the numbers, so or number into the earnings report. So everyone is on hold, kind of holding on to that NVIDIA earnings report. So we'll see how it comes out. And the problem with NVIDIA earnings is that it's the expectation is so crazy that unless they beat them with a really blow the thing out of the water, it's the people are going to get disappointed. So right now, Nvidia stock wise is up to 136. So it could be a buy the rumor sell the fact kind of dynamic. We'll see. It anyone's guess where it's going to go. So at this point, I would just start off range bound. I would look to sell strength up to the at 59.30s, up to the 40s, up to the 50s. For rotations back down, I would buy weakness against the 59.15, that lower edge. Probably down at the low here at the 5900. So 15 and 5900. Probably take off this edge. Not too sure how it's kind of they already blew through it once. So that's kind of we get started on the ES. Now for news for tomorrow, depending on the Nvidia earnings, it could set the stage completely. Tomorrow we get GDP and jobless claims. We have a Fed speaker, corporate profits, all at 8:30. We get pending home sales at 10, Natgas report at 10:30, and oil report at noon. Oh, that's a new one. And then the 7-year auction at 1. So that's what we got going on tomorrow morning. So a fair amount of news tomorrow. And then on Friday we get that personal income number. No trades for me today at all. I was thinking about a trade early on this morning, but I never did it. And so far, this slop throughout the day has just been something I did not want to engage. I was looking for that today, and that's short for a rotation down to the lows, but it barely set up. It's just really slow action on it. So I just never did anything with it. On the bonds, we backed off from pretty good move to the upside and got a little bit hopeful about it. They pulled back pretty good from that 113 level. They're done testing 112. Now they're back up halfway up here. So if they can hold about these two support areas, they were 12.10 and the 12 was 4 to 6s. I would probably be more inclined. Well, I guess the edge is going to drop a little bit to the 112, so that's going to be the lower edge. So if we can hold above 112, start at range bound. If it starts trading below it, I will be back on the short side on the bonds. And on Nasdaq, also a big move right there. They took it out to the mean. When it grinds like this, you're sitting here watching it, and you have to realize that the distribution is range bound. So I mean, at this point, you're looking to sell strength and buy weakness, and just churning that back and forth. It is slowly drifting to the upside. Gives you the sense that there may be a little pop to the upside, and then of course this happens, and that absolutely blows everything out of the water. And they've been back up and then down, and who knows what the market is reacting to, what news headline came out. If you know, let me know. But I popped on Truth Social to see, I couldn't see anything. So it probably social media post or something happened. But we'll see. So at this point, anyone's guess where they're going to go. On the Nasdaq, if they can hold above that the 360s, I would say. Let me see. I would give it, yeah, this level here, that at 360 level. If you can hold that one, start off range bound. If it starts trading below it, I would be back on the short side. But right now, range bound trading to get started. They run right up here to that to 550 attractor, bounced off it, and then it's just been holding until now. We're getting some afternoon weakness. So we'll see where they end up. But what anyone's guess now where it's going to go. But it's all about those NVIDIA earnings coming out after the close here. And then finally, oil and gold. And as I said, I haven't taken any trades today. I just kind of watched it. All the slop in the middle was just not that enticing. I could not make up my mind if we were setting up a short or if they're going to start to grinding this back up again. So that's hence I stayed on the sidelines. Um, Oil, yes, back here, backing off a little bit. They were up here towards the 62s, and I did pop to the upside. Now they're backing off. So yes, pretty much staying in the range. So range bound trading on oil still. Now we have up to the 62.50, still a good edge. It's going to be 62.20 now for this. And adjusting us a little bit for tomorrow. But pretty much exact same range as we started off today. And gold, same story there. They could not take it higher, and then no retracement back up. So they are back down here, building value right at that lower end of the range. So I would look for the overnight to potentially take this lower, to blow through this lower support area and take it lower. And if that happens, just stay on the short side. Could be like it's an overnight trading going on there. So when the Asian market kicks in, we'll see if they're going to knock out the support area or not. And if they do, just stay on the short side. If it holds, we could see a nice retracement back up to that 33, 30 to 40s. All right. But that's gold. So starting off range bound right now, probably keep a bias to the downside to see if it can retest these lows, potentially take it lower. All right, and that's it. So back to the ES. And both ES and NASDAQ showing some weakness now. They're down, then right back up. Now they're drifting lower. So let's see what happens here. I wonder if some NVIDIA earnings news leaked out or something like that. I wonder if there's a leak going on here. Because that's just something, it's market reacting to something. So anyway, we'll leave it there. So I'll see you back bright and early in the morning. You guys have a good evening. All right, guys, later.